subtitles at the top. All right. Welcome back to another video, another An Easy Mind reaction. As you can always tell by the title, we're gonna be reacting to how psychedelics work, explained in under 6 minutes. I think the person who's explaining is this individual right here, Matthew Johnson. Shout out to Matthew. This video is brought to you by Big Think. As a matter of fact, let me go subscribe to them. I'm subscribed to them on my other channel. This video popped up on my homepage. I need to try to make this channel I'm on right now my default channel, when I log into YouTube. But yeah, I've been interested in psychedelics for quite some time. Not so much in indulging in it, although that thought has come across me, and I'm still trying to decide if I want to go down that road. But from a more um, just being a viewer of it, from a psychological standpoint, and trying to understand how it affects an individual. I've been really interested in that, and I've done some reading. My friend, the one who I confer with quite often, she gave me a book discussing different situations and different and rare case studies of happenings to individuals where there were changes in their psychology and their pathology, and one of them included which we call it, an individual dealing with psychedelics and what happened to the individual when he underwent the process. So I think this will be a great video. I feel like we can learn a lot from it. So without further ado, let me quit my talk and jump right in.
Every psychological experience has a biological correlate. These are two sides of the same coin. You see the color green.
Hold on. Let me make sure this is in. Yeah, that looked a little bit blurry to me. Do I want subtitles? Let me know. Y'all like subtitles or not? I like subtitles, but let me start that video back for y'all.
Every psychological experience has a biological correlate. These are two sides of the same coin. You see the color green. There's something happening in your brain
Right.
coding that experience of the color green. So, with psychedelics, the biggest divide is whether we're talking about on the psychological side or the biological side. Does it work by hitting these brain receptors and then having other effects, or does it work because of the experience?
Right.
Clearly, there's this very real biological effect. Something dramatic happens to the brain when you put the psychedelic in the system. But then someone has this experience, and when they change their life because of that, that ends up sounding more like they went through a really good course of psychotherapy. So psychedelics are really interesting at that bridge between the biological and the psychological.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Let's go, Matthew Johnson. That's his name, right?
What
Yeah.
psychedelic means from its linguistic roots is mind manifesting. The idea
All
that
right,
these are
manifesting.
mind manifesting, that's consistent with this other notion that these are non-specific amplifiers. In other words, you could have a euphoric experience, you could have a hellish experience.
Yeah.
Also, terminology is so difficult in this area. Psychedelic can be used to refer to what are called the classic psychedelic compounds, psilocybin, which is in magic mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
LSD,
Yeah.
DMT, which is in ayahuasca,
I've
mescaline.
learned that much. I've looked into the different
Classic
names.
psychedelics, they affect a particular type of serotonin receptor, and that's their primary mechanism of action. But then you have other drugs that I think it's appropriate to call them psychedelic. Other scientists will disagree. So, for example, MDMA will work by releasing serotonin. So that's a different mechanism.
Mm.
And you have other drugs such as ketamine and PCP. So that affects the glutamate system in the brain primarily rather than the serotonin system. So, what does psychedelic mean then if it refers to multiple pharmacological classes of drugs that work in different ways? And the answer for me is that these are all drugs that can have a profound effect on one's sense of reality, including one's sense of self.
Mm-hmm.
The huge question that's always thrown out is how do these psychedelics work? And you can just come at that from so many different angles. Now, to go down that biological path, what's happening? There's a lot going on. For example, psilocybin, which people may know as the active agent in so-called magic mushrooms, once it's circulating through your blood after you've eaten some of it, it actually converts to a related compound called psilocin, which is the thing that's actually hitting the brain receptors. And it activates a subtype of serotonin receptor. So we have lots of different types of serotonin receptors in our brain. One is called the serotonin 2A receptor. And psilocybin and the other classic psychedelics can latch onto that the same way that our serotonin latches onto these brain receptors. So psilocybin affects serotonin, but then serotonin affects the glutamate system. And then at another level, you had this massive increase in communication across these different silos in the brain. That is probably an important level of analysis that is underlying at the psychological level patients who have claims of insight, viewing themselves from a radically different perspective,
Yeah.
from a different lens, and based on animal research, there also seems like there may be increased neuroplasticity in the system so that in the days following the psychedelic experience, people are more primed to learn new things. There's a greater
Mm.
ability to establish a new and more optimal normal state.
Okay. Oh.
So there seems to really be something
Let me not
more
pause.
about the nature of the experience that people have during these sessions. It's not just about hitting a certain type of serotonin receptor in the brain. There's something about the psychology of the experience that unfolds,
Yeah. I want to know more about the experience.
which is in some sense what makes the psilocybin treatments a bit more like psychotherapy than traditional psychiatric medications where you just take the pill and you forget it. There's some interacting reasons why the psychedelic renaissance is happening now. Our society has been in a mental health crisis, and it's
Oh.
been stagnating. Pharmaceutical companies don't make the investments in new mental health care treatments like they did decades ago. I mean, the best medical treatments that we have for many addictions are substitution treatments, also known as agonist treatments. And I think these are
Dang.
good, but when you don't see success, I would say it's probably because they fail to get to the roots of these mental disorders, including
I don't
addiction.
know what's making me emotional, if it's the
That's why
music or his words.
psychedelics have been so successful. Nothing is going to be a miracle cure for everyone. Nonetheless, they have so much promise, and we have to have that balance. I think that's more possible today.
Yeah, no. That was a great video. Some things I wanted to say. That looks like a good video. Are you a genius? But things I want to say throughout the video, but I try to refrain from pausing it. You know, I'm trying to pause less throughout the video. But what did he say? He was talking about the use of psychedelics, why there was been an uptick in the average amount of individuals indulging in psychedelics. And I had a discussion with my father and with other individuals at the time, and looking into different religions and different philosophies and different just different thoughts, different doctrines. One of them pointed out or talked about the idea of the overall rising consciousness of the universe, and that might, that's an idea in its own, and I don't want to not divulge, but I don't want to get into it too much. That could be led for another video or another discussion at another time. But that's just one of the many things, and he was talking about the specific experiences that each individual goes through, and I find that actually interesting because it's this idea that we're all connected and we all come from one source, yet the experiences in which each individual has, it it can either be vastly different from the next person or closely related to the next person, and you never know unless you um take part in that other person's experiences, whether that's becoming a friend, whether that's becoming a lover, or just engaging in that experiences, stepping into their life. But there was an idea that came through. uh Maybe I should start taking notes while maybe I'll start doing that. I'll start taking notes while I'm watching the video, and then I'll go over the notes at the end of the video, because I forget a lot of what I want to say, but I'm trying to I'm trying to pause. I'm trying to refrain from pausing throughout the video because I know that messes up the flow of the whole thing. So I think I'll just start taking notes and then I'll review the notes at the end. Because like I said, this is I want this to be a forum in which we all learn. So I'll take suggestions to watch videos from other people who may be watching along with me, because I think this is a place where we can all take into the idea of furthering oneself. You know, reaching. Who said it? Was it? It started with the M, but the idea of us, the Haslow, the Haslow hierarchy. I think it is. But the idea of self actualization. I find that idea fascinating, and I do look to it. And I do, look to grow in knowledge, grow as an individual. So yeah, um, that's the end of the video, man. If you, what's my saying? If you don't leave a like, if you don't leave a like, if you don't subscribe, if you don't turn on post notifications, at the very least, leave a comment. I would like to have a conversation with you. Yeah, I'm gonna carry that one over. Yeah, that's good. All right.